Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the conference challenge. And a special welcome, if I could, to the heroes of the challenge, our 2 teams who are sat down in the front here and who have been doing an absolutely sterling job behind the scenes. So it's day 2 of the challenge, and things are really starting to heat up. Yesterday afternoon, we started working through some issues with the teams. We started off talking about what retirement might look like for them in the future.
A few people are going to talk me through their future life, how they see it going, what the reasons why they've stuck on their piece of paper what they've stuck on.
So I have a nice home here. I'm happy on holidays, so there's quite a few little city trips, while still being very fit and healthy.
My vision board for the future was sort of around a Mediterranean type lifestyle, having a nice home, relaxing place, spending more time in the outdoors as well.
I looked horrendous on the aging app. Yeah, fat and old. I was just thinking, no, I can't be dealing with both of them.
Wow, that was scary. I'm going to have to save up for a facelift.
I do save, but I think the general approach to saving is that whatever's extra is what's saved. At the moment, it feels like every single penny is accounted for. But what it feels like is like when you're putting money on savings, it's just money sat there while there's things that need to be done today.
I mean, to be honest, I would love to save for a mortgage, but I really don't think in the next 10 years I've got a chance. Because me and my boyfriend did try to get one before we got the flat in Bristol renting, but they said no. Maybe we'll be renting for the rest of our life, which is a sad thought really, but it's a possibility.
I started looking at pensions in the last year. I don't really know why in the last year it's become more prevalent. I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm thinking about it. And obviously I understand that people are living longer. Being able to afford anything at the moment is near enough impossible, so I hate to think what it's going to be like when I retire.
Well, when I was younger I used to think I was 60, but now my mum's 60. For me, she's not old, so I'm like, she enjoys working, she enjoys having the routine. So she's not ready to retire yet, so hopefully I'll feel like that as well.
I don't mind living longer as long as I'm healthy and I can afford to, more than anything else. I don't want to be in a position where I'm living longer but I can't afford to do things, because that's not a quality of life, is it? So yeah, I think anything past 100, I just think, yeah, no, that's enough for me. Life's stressful as it is without that.
So some eye-openers there, I think, Steve, in terms of how long people might leave. Did you find that talking to your team?
Yes, I think, as you've heard from the guys who are here on the front, and they're available for autographs afterwards, by the way, the thought of living to 100 is kind of horrifying. The thought of having to have enough money to last all those decades. And I think probably the thing I got back most when we joined them after the session in the morning was why did nobody ever tell us this? And you may see that reflected in some of what's said tomorrow.
Possibly. And then we did start telling them all of this stuff. And later on yesterday, we talked about how much it might cost to live that long and enjoy retirement.
Well, today we learned in our day and age in our genre we're going to live over 100, which is a scary possibility. To think that we could possibly be in retirement longer than we are in work, and how am I going to fund that financially?
How much do you think you're going to need to have in that pension to fund the lifestyles that you've all put down?
It's going to be a large amount to fund the lifestyle that I want.
I think I need roughly between 70,000 to 80,000 to be comfortable on like a 10 to 15,000 per annum salary.
I've worked it out about 40 grand a year I'd need for 30 years of my retirement, so it's 1.2 million I'll need in my pot.
Pensions should be compulsory rather than just given the option, and you shouldn't be able to enrol out. People my age particularly, and the younger generation, they're not aware of how important a pension is.
I mean, I do have a pension scheme with work, but I just pay in a little bit of money. They pay in more money than I do, and I just don't think about it.
600k will give you about 18,000 a year. That's going up in line with inflation. So 300,000 give you about £9,000 a year.
At 300k, 9k, you're possibly just living within your means.
You're a pensioner, you've probably got grandchildren, your children are probably older. I still think it's not, with the lifestyle you want to leave them, the extras, I still think it's not enough. I've got to save this much to survive that long. It becomes a little bit serious and a little bit tangible and black and white that this is what exactly I need to save.
I really need to think about having my own little pot as well as that, because, you know, who knows if there's even going to be a state pension by the time I retire. It's pretty scary.
This session has opened my eyes to how much I really need to invest more than the state pension, because I wouldn't be able to live on the state pension. The thought that we're going to be in pension age for longer than 10 years and we're going to live over 100, I might as well invest my whole salary now.
I mean, in terms of how this session has made me feel, I'm quite depressed, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of probably majority of the people here with worry. There's just not enough money to be able to afford a luxury, well, not even a luxury, I think just a basic retirement.
Even better after that, because I took the teams over to go through a pension calculator and see how much they might themselves get. I think when I took Lloyd through his example, I thought he was going to hit me at the end of it. He was so disappointed. But Greg, I know you've been with the teams, or with your team all day today. Are they kind of getting over that negativity and starting to think of solutions?
Yeah, I think what we saw there is what the famous Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci described as the pessimism of the intellect. The extent of the challenge which we face in saving for our future when we look at it rationally. Today was more about the optimism of the will, which is that determination to come up with solutions for that saving challenge. And certainly in both teams today, my strong sense is some really exciting, sensible and innovative ideas about how to confront the challenge which our teams face in saving for hopefully a long and healthy retirement.
Sounds encouraging. I'm still a little bit scared. I've still only got the sketchiest ideas of what our teams are going to come up with. But like me, you can come back here tomorrow morning and find out more.
Well, yeah, so clearly no one's doing enough at the moment, so we need to, well, with the government giving us the tax relief, but that's just all that they're doing. There isn't anything else basically. And I think it's their job to educate people actually what is the crisis at the moment and what is going on, because we are lucky enough to be here at the moment and have this information given to us, but there's so many other people out there at the moment that don't know.
Be here tomorrow morning when you'll see much more of our two teams. But for now, could you please join me in thanking them for their participation so far? Thanks, guys.